All right, so hi you guys. What is up? It's me, Gabby, and I am here making a video about my breast reduction surgery that I recently had. So, for those of you who do not know or who are new to this channel, my name is Gabby. I am a licensed nail tech located in Broward County, Florida. This is my YouTube channel. I've had this channel for many years, and I post my nail content. I'm working on like posting more nail content. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm just not really consistent. Like when I'm doing nails, like I'm just so in the zone that I forget to like put my camera up and record. But I do want to work on making more nail content and just more content in general about me, my life, my walk with Christ, my fitness journey, like all these things that I'm embarking on. I told myself I was going to work on just being more consistent with my content creation and everything. So yeah, I wanted to come back to my channel and show my face. Normally I post shorts of different nail sets that I've done, but it's been a while since I've actually like sat in front of the camera and recorded a video and all of the things. So yeah, so like I said, I just got a breast reduction. I got my breast reduction on March 25th of this year, so last month. I will be this upcoming Tuesday 4 weeks post-op officially. So I really just wanted to come on here and just talk to you guys about how everything went, from just me getting approved, why I decided to get a breast reduction, what process I went through to get approved, if you're trying to get it covered through insurance, just how my experience was from my surgeon to the hospital, how recovery has been going, all of that different stuff. So I'm gonna do it in this video and I hope you guys enjoy. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get started on this story time. I'm here at my shop. So I came here to clean up because I'm actually returning back to work tomorrow. I've been out of work since the 23rd of March. No, the 23rd of March. That was my last day working prior to my surgery. So I'm here. I'm just cleaning up and getting everything ready for tomorrow to get back to work. So yeah, let's get into this story. All right, so I went to go put on my earrings because I don't really like recording and all of that stuff without having some earrings on. I just feel like every woman needs to just have like a pair of earrings in or whatever. So yeah, okay, so let's get started on my breast reduction journey and why I got a breast reduction. So I just a little bit of history or background info about me. I have had I have had big boobs since the dawn of time, like almost. Like I joke around and I say that, but being so serious, like I have had large breasts since I was like 13. Like when I started going through puberty, these were the first thing that grew when I started hitting puberty. Obviously, like 6th grade, I didn't have boobies really, or they were like starting to grow, but they weren't really like, big or anything. I probably at that time was just wearing like training bras and like little sports bras and stuff like that. 7th grade, I think that's when I started like actually wearing like, bras and stuff like that, but I don't really recall like having big, large breasts or anything like that. But baby, meet you, baby. When I got to 8th grade, when I turned 13 years old, it's like over the summer they just grew. And how I knew is I remember like going back to school and everybody was talking about my boobs and they're like, what happened? And your boobs just grew overnight and all this stuff. Like, I just went to 8th grade and it was like boom, blam, blam. They were there. I was a triple D in 8th grade. And when the kids in school like started making comments about my breasts, because I didn't notice it, to be quite honest. Like I said, like I didn't realize my boobs grew until the kids in school were talking about it. So, I became very self-conscious about it. I was like, oh my gosh, like I would look at my boobs in the mirror and be like, oh my gosh, they are big. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would just be like, wow, my boobs are huge. And I just remember like being really uncomfortable about it. Like, of course, like I said, I was going through puberty, so my whole body was growing and changing. And, when I would be in school, like obviously the kids would make inappropriate comments, the boys would make inappropriate comments and things like that about my body. People just started saying stuff about like me having sex and everything, which I did not have sex as a teenager at all. I didn't lose, like, TMI, but I didn't lose my virginity until I was 22. So, but the kids thought that I was out here having sex because my boobs were growing, my booty was getting bigger, like stuff like that. But I was just going through puberty. And, like the clothes, like, mind y'all, I'm 30 years old. So I was in middle school in like 2007, 2008, 2009. If you were in school during that time, especially here in South Florida, like Abercrombie and Fitch and Hollister and Aeropostale and American Eagle were like in style during that time. Like if you were that girl in school, if you were wearing that, if you were wearing Coach and Juicy and all of them things. So I, of course, wanted to shop in those stores because I wanted to fit in with everybody else. And I just remember, like, it's not funny, but I remember, like, begging my mom to go to these stores, and my mom would be like, Gabby, like, I don't know if these clothes are going to fit you, girl. And we would go to the stores, and I would be in that dressing room, like, crying my eyes out because the shirt wouldn't go over my boobs. The pants wouldn't pull up over my booty. And my mom would just be looking at me like, oh, my gosh. Like, dang, I tried to tell her. So, and during that time, like that period, again, if you grew up during that time, there wasn't a lot of like inclusivity and plus size, like that was really unheard of during that time. So, I was very self-conscious about that, not being able to fit into the regular clothes like the other girls were able to. We had to wear uniforms to school during that time. So my uniform shirts would accentuate how big my boobs were, and it just made me uncomfortable. It made me very self-conscious. I remember wearing jackets a lot during this time because I didn't want people to see my boobs. I didn't want people to make comments about my boobs. I remember like being around the boys in school, like, and I would feel so anxious and so uncomfortable and just so like scared to be around them and everything. And then another like hard part about having big boobs at that age was, again, I was a triple D by that point. So excuse me. So at that point, all the girls in school would go bra shopping at Victoria's Secret, more so like Pink, because Pink was also very much in style during that time. And I couldn't shop at those stores. Like again, no such thing as inclusivity, size inclusivity, and all that stuff. So I had to buy my bras from the grown woman stores, the Lane Bryant's, and all those stores, where they had bras for, women who had bigger boobs. And I just remember, like, I hated bra shopping. I hated going to those stores. I'd be so humiliated going to those stores. They would just look at me and be like, why is this little girl in there? And then they would see my boobs and be like, oh, okay, we see why. And during that time, again, I'm a teenager, I'm a little girl still. I want to wear cute bras. I want to wear bras where I can still wear tank tops and, spaghetti straps and all that stuff. And those bras during those times, like, were so ugly. Like, I think it's just recently, within the past maybe like 5-6 years, that bras for bigger chested women have become like cute. And things that you can wear with like different types of tops and stuff like that. Because back during that time, like, the straps were like literally like this thick. I still, like, to this day, I still have the shoulder dents because of how thick and heavy the bra straps were. They came in like 3 sizes. I mean, not 3 sizes, 3 colors: black, brown, and this ugly, gaudy, like shiny tan color. And they would look like literal bras out of the like 1950s. Like, they like pointed stuff like that. It was ugly. And then, like, I had to get the minimizer bras. I had to get the padded bras because my nipples would be out like that all the time. And that was another thing that would show in my uniform shirts was like my nipples would be out. And of course the kids would make comments about that too. So I had to get like padded bras that didn't show my nipples. So off rip, I did not like my boobs. I did not like how big my boobs were. Having big boobs was like the bane of my existence. And when I got to high school, that's when I learned about breast reductions. I want to say it was another girl that I went to school with that I was friends with, and she had a breast reduction, and she was telling me about it. And I started kind of like asking my mom, like, hey mommy, like, am I too young to get a breast reduction? Would I be able to get a breast reduction? And my mom would be like, yeah, no, you're too young. They're still going to grow. You're still going through puberty. Like, I'm not going to let you go through that right now. And so I would I would constantly ask my mom, like, Mom, can I please get a breast reduction? Can I please get a breast reduction? Because now I'm getting older. My boobs are growing. I'm starting to get 15, 16, 17 years old. I'm being invited to like pool parties and stuff like that. And I can't wear bikinis and things like that because of how big my boobs were. So I hated, like, I already wasn't really like being invited to stuff like that. But when I would be invited, I didn't even want to go because I was like, I don't look like the other girls. Like, the other girls could wear cute bikini tops and cute swimsuits and cute outfits and all this stuff. And I couldn't because of how big my boobs were and just how my body would look. I would go to these pool parties in t-shirts. I would wear a bra underneath. I would wear my t-shirt, like a big t-shirt, and shorts, and that would be that on that. And so I just started to really become like more insecure about my body. And like, it just made me more like want to get this surgery done. So one event that happened, and I never talked to my mom about this event, and I just want to provide a trigger warning real quick. I am going to be talking about a time that I was essayed. So if this is something that makes you uncomfortable, I will definitely put the timestamp in of like when I'm done talking about it. But I do want to also mention that when I was 15 years old, I was sexually assaulted. And this was like a big driving factor into why I wanted to get a breast reduction during that time as well. I never told my mom about it. I never talked to my mom about it. So, girl, if you see this, but basically I was on a school trip. I was 15 years old. My English teacher at the time, we went to Europe, and we were in Spain, and I remember it was like breakfast time. We were getting on an elevator, and this man, it was 2 guys, and I want to say like, they were probably in their 20s, and it looked like they had maybe just gotten back to the hotel from some partying. And basically one of the guys, like, he touched my boobs. Again, I'm a kid. I'm 15 years old. Thank God that my teacher was there, because, and I remember thinking to myself, like, if my teacher was not there, if no other person was there, Lord knows what else they would have done to me. But yeah, I remember like getting into the elevator with my teacher, and the type of person that I am, like, I'm a delayed reaction type person. Like, I have to process something before I can be like, okay, here's how we're gonna react to this. So I remember like standing in the elevator, and I was kind of just like thinking, like just like standing there like, hold on. And then I asked my teacher, I'm like, did that man just touch my boobs? And she was like, yeah, dear, I think he did. And y'all, I just want to say this. I ain't no punk. When I saw that man again, I quite literally tried to him, okay? Like, I'm not gonna say everything, but I was pissed. I was heated. I am 15 years old. I had already dealt with a lot of grown men talking to me and being inappropriate towards me and stuff like that. And that type of stuff like pissed me off so bad, because I was not the type of teenager that was like into sexual stuff. I didn't have boyfriends. I didn't date. I didn't even kiss. Like, I wasn't into that type of stuff. I didn't want to be treated like a sexual object as a kid. And so for you random grown ass man to feel like you can just touch me inappropriately, oh no, your ass was grass. Like, I'm so sorry. And it took a lot of people to like hold me back and restrain me, because I was ready to do this man in. Like, real talk, I was so angry. I was so pissed off. I was so hurt. I was like, don't you ever in your life put your hands on me again. Like, that will be the last time you ever put your hands on anybody ever again. Like, I was pissed off. And it's like, to this day, no man can get close to me. Like, if you get close to me, I immediately like get like tensed up, because that's not my first time dealing with SA and men like taking advantage of me and touching me inappropriately and stuff like that. So I'm very guarded when it comes down to that type of stuff. And I'm just very much like, do not touch me. You don't have any right to touch me, to do anything inappropriate with me. Like, no. If you value your life, don't touch me at all. Don't even play with me like that. So and I will never forget, I was wearing this Juicy Couture shirt. Like I said, like, I was in love with Juicy Couture. My mom had bought me this Juicy Couture shirt from Marshall's, and I wore it that day. And I remember when I got home from my trip, I put it in a dresser drawer. I never saw that shirt again. I was so ashamed, and I felt like the shirt just brought wrong. And mind you, it's a shirt like this. Like, it wasn't like an inappropriate, it was literally a t-shirt like this. It was maybe a little bit more fitted, but it was a t-shirt like this. So I just remember thinking, like, in my mind, I was like, my boobs must look huge in this shirt, and I don't want anyone to ever like look at me in this shirt and feel like, okay, this shirt gives them permission to touch me inappropriately. So I think just the trauma, like, I didn't realize it until like recently, that I think because of the trauma of what I went through during that time with that incident, I just couldn't wear that shirt, because in my mind I felt like this is the reason why this man felt like he could touch me inappropriately. And so I never wore that shirt ever again. And that's when I really started to wear like baggy clothes, baggy t-shirts, baggy sweatshirts, sweatpants, baggy everything. Like, literally, this was my 9th grade year. So the first part of my 9th grade year, I was wearing like more fitted clothes. And it was just like after that, I was wearing like baggy clothes. I was on the praise and worship team, the praise dancing team at my church at the time. I hated wearing leotards. I used to hate like when we would perform and stuff like that, because I hated wearing those leotards, because I felt like they made my boobs look huge. And, just because of all of that, it really was like, I want a breast reduction. I don't want anybody to look at me inappropriately, feel like they can touch me inappropriately. Like, anything like that. So that was like another driving factor in why I got a breast reduction. And I just want to say this, I'm gonna put this out there. As I'm posting this video, I just want to let any man out here that's watching this, I want to let y'all know something. I have watched, prior to my breast reduction surgery, I did a lot of research. I was watching a lot of breast reduction videos. I was in a lot of breast reduction Reddit, pages. I'm in a breast reduction group on Facebook, like stuff like that, because I really wanted to. I was watching TikToks about breast reductions because I really wanted to know what I was about to get myself into. And one of the most disgusting things that I saw on women's videos and stuff like that were comments from men saying like, why would you do that? Your boobs looked fine before. And one man literally had the audacity to say like, you pissed me off by getting a breast reduction. Let me let you know this. To any woman who got those types of comments, and I saw that, just know that I reported those comments. First of all. Secondly, let me let you know this on my page, on this page. You will get blocked. Do not leave any type of comment under my video asking me, or saying to me, there was nothing wrong with your boobs. Why would you do that? I don't give a hot diggity damn about what you think, how you feel, what you would have wanted. This is not about you. Don't leave any of those nasty comments under my video. You will get blocked and your comment will be removed. I don't care. I did this for me. I did this for my health, my well-being. This video is for women and men, because there are men that get breast reductions. These are for folks who are getting breast reductions and want to know more about it. I want to create a safe space and a community where people can come, they can talk about their experiences, they can learn from my experience, things like that. This is not a space for you to, this is not a safe space for you to air your grievances on why women with big boobs should not get breast reductions. We do not care. This is not about you, okay? If you feel some type of way, you can get the hell out my video and off my page from now. So I just want to let you know that I am still very much sensitive about those types of comments. I have a lot of trauma related to those types of comments and things like that. So I am working on my anger when it comes down to stuff like that, not cussing people out, not being disrespectful towards people. So I will simply block you. I don't care, and I don't give a damn about how you feel and what you think I should or should not do. So if Jesus says yes, I really don't care about what you think or how you feel. So let me just put that out there as well. Okay, so now that disclaimer is over, I just wanted to state that, that was also a very big driving factor as to why I really desired to get a breast reduction from when I was, younger, when I was a teenager. So, yeah. As I got older, of course, my boobs grew. By the time I was a senior in high school, I was a G cup. I do have a picture of myself from my prom that I'll post. And I found out I was a G cup because my dress that I had to get a strapless bra. So when I got fitted for the bra, I was a G cup. So by the time I was 18, probably from like before, but by the time I was 18, I was a G cup. And that was the size that I basically remained until maybe like my mid-20s. And no matter, during this time, I was smaller. I was probably like, I would fluctuate between like the 170s and like the 190, like that 190. So no matter how my weight fluctuated, my boobs always stayed at a G cup. Again, during this time, it was very hard going bra shopping. I don't know how many of y'all can relate. But during this time, I would start shopping at, like, me and my mom would go to like Macy's, Bloomingdale's, Dillard's, like the department stores, because again, those were the only places that I could find bras that would fit me during this time. Now during this time, it's like 20 2013, 2014, 2015. So I'm in college. And y'all, I used to feel so bad for my mom. And then when I started to having to buy my own bras, I used to be sick. Okay. My bras, I would buy the Wacoal bras. They're spelled Wacoal, Wacoal bras. And y'all, them bras used to cost me between $70 to $90 each. Okay, each. So again, that is why I don't give a damn about who is like, oh, you should have never. Nobody was giving me money besides my mama and the good Lord above. Nobody was giving me money to buy these bras. Buying 4 or 5 good bras would run me like $300-$400 easily. Easily. And I had to listen, when I say I had to make them bras stretch, because I would buy bras like once a year. That's all I could afford. Like, I would have to buy bras once a year and take really, really, really good care of my bras, because I was like, I can't afford to just be replacing bras every month, every 2-3 months, like, and so I just like, buying bras was so expensive. I have a funny story real quick. The other day my friend called me and she was asking me about the cost of like a bra that she was interested in, because she was like, she wasn't used to paying that much for a bra. And I want to say the bra was maybe like $30. And she she called me because she thought I was going to tell her like, oh no, girl, that's way too much for a bra. I said, girl, that bra is actually a really wonderful price. That is a great price. And I had to tell her, I was like, girl, like, I used to have to pay $70 for a bra, $65 for a bra, $80 for a bra, $90 for a bra. So $35 is like music to my ears. And we were just on the phone laughing about that because she could not believe me. I told her, like, a few months before my surgery, I bought bras from this place called Curvy Couture. And they were having a sale and I got free shipping, and my total came up to $255. And I had to show her. I was like, girl, I literally paid $255, and she could not believe me. Like, the woman was too stunned to speak. So buying bras was so freaking expensive. And again, I couldn't, like, it wasn't until maybe recently I started being able to wear like cute bras that I could wear under different stuff. But yeah, I remained a G cup up until like my mid-20s, and then I grew into an H cup. And then I want to say I didn't get remeasured or anything prior to my surgery, but I want to say I was probably like an I cup right before my surgery. And of course, like, I'll put up a video of how big my boobs were prior to my surgery. So I would say, please excuse the shirt, I don't know why it looks like this, but let's just take one final look at the boobies. This is my last night with them being so big. Oh my goodness, can y'all believe I have been carrying these around since I was 13. They started off as triple D. They grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. Now they're an H cup, probably bigger than that. So, yeah. Let us pray that everything goes well tomorrow and I'll be coming back with some smaller boobies. So, yeah. All right. Good night, y'all. Bye. My surgery. So, I would say I was probably like a 40I going into my surgery. So yeah, that is basically my history with big boobs. And it wasn't like I had smaller boobs and then something happened, and they got big out of nowhere. Like, I have had large boobs for a long time. And everything, the neck pain, the shoulder dents, the back pain, all of that stuff, I've experienced it for well over 15 years. And I was just kind of over it, but I was having such a hard time, like, getting coverage and stuff like that. During like when I was an adult and I would like ask, call my insurance companies and ask them about getting a breast reduction, I would get the runaround about, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to go here, you got to go there, you got to like all these different things. And I was just kind of over it, and I had just gotten to a point. I would go to plastic surgeons' offices, and they would be like, oh, well, we don't accept insurance, or if we do, you got to go to a chiropractor, and you got to do all these different things. And I had just gotten to a point where I was like, listen, I guess this is my lot in life. I guess I'm going to just have big boobs, and it is what it is, and I need to just live with it. And, if I ever have kids, I guess my boobs will just be going down to my ankles. Like, it is what it is. It was kind of just one of those situations where it was like, not like, when I say I accepted it, it wasn't like oh, yes, I got big boobs. It was kind of just like, well, y'all are already here, so let's just make it work. So, yeah. So now just getting into my surgery and how I got to have my breast reduction surgery. So last year I went full-time into my business. I left my full-time job and I went full-time into my business. So for a little minute I didn't have insurance, and I was just going on a wing and a prayer. But I was going through some stuff like just mentally, and I was also having like a lot of shoulder pain last year. And so my mom put me in contact with this company that helped me to get insurance through the marketplace. So I was able to get insurance through Florida Blue, glory be to God. And I was able to get the insurance. And I went to go see my primary care physician in November. I went for a physical. Again, getting a breast reduction was not on my mind. I wasn't even thinking about it. I wasn't even considering it. I had accepted it, and I was like, it is what it is. During my visit, something told me, which I'll just credit it to the Holy Spirit, something told me to ask my doctor about a breast reduction. So I was just like, hey, like, I'm interested in getting a breast reduction. Do you know what I would have to do in order to get an approval from my insurance to get a reduction? So she gave me the number or referral to my plastic surgeon. His name is Dr. Christopher Brooks. He's located in Hollywood, Florida. Really great surgeon. He's board certified and everything. And I made an appointment to go get a consultation done. I went to get the consultation done like in late November of last year. This was all in 2024. And I went, and I remember like I was wearing my polo shirt at the time, and I had like a thick polo on. And I remember the nurse came into the room with like some papers, and she was like, I can see your shoulder dents from your t-shirt. Mind you, if we were looking at like distance, like I was like here and she was like there, so we were a ways apart from each other, and she was able to see that through my polo shirt. So I was like, okay, cool, put that in my notes. So we did the consultation. I had to take my shirt off. He examined my breasts. He held them just to see how heavy they were. They were heavy, okay? Heavy as hell. Like, they were, sorry y'all, I'm sorry about the cussing, and I know I'm wearing my Jesus shirt, but Father, please forgive me. But yeah, they were very heavy. And he said that he was like, these are real heavy. And so he basically told me about the procedure, what the risks were, which some of the risks, just to let y'all know, and of course your surgeon will discuss this with you, but some of the risks are like nipple necrosis, fat necrosis. There is a possibility, like for me, because of the type of incisions and everything that they had to do, there is a possibility that I may not be able to breastfeed, which I don't know, it is what it is. I don't even know if I'm gonna have kids. So, that was kind of one of those things where it was like, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. All these different things, there's a risk of infection. all of that stuff. So, you know, just as with any other surgery, there are risks included. So he talked to me about that. And then he also talked to me about my weight. So at the time I was like around 240 and I'm 5'3". So, you know, my BMI is pretty high. So he was like, I don't normally do surgeries on like people with high BMI. So if you could get your weight down by the time of your surgery, that would be perfect. So I was kind of like, at the time I was like, oh gosh, like now I gotta stress about losing weight and all this stuff. So, but they did all my paperwork, they took pictures, and they submitted all of it to my insurance. And I just went about my merry way, and I didn't hear back from them for some time. I actually, because of how long the time span it was, I kind of was like, maybe I'm just not going to get a breast reduction. It is what it is. Like, I'm not going to get my hopes up. I got a call in like mid-January from the office, and they told me that my insurance approved my my surgery, which, glory be to God. And they were like, you basically have like 90 days to, or probably less than 90 days, but they were like, you know, you have until March 31st to do your surgery. I wanted to do it later on in the year, but because I was like limited on my approval time, I chose March 25th because I wanted to give myself some time to get prepared for my surgery, see if I could lose some of the weight and, you know, all of that stuff. So, yeah, that's how we got to the approval. I didn't have to really do anything in terms of like going to a chiropractor or anything like that. I just did the initial consultation and that was it. So again, glory be to God. Like, thank you, Lord, that I was able to get the approval and everything like that. So the day of my surgery, it was, oh my gosh, first of all, I was so nervous for my surgery. I was so scared. I had so much anxiety, especially with like that anesthesia, y'all. Like, anesthesia ain't no joke. I don't understand like how the girlies be getting like 4, 5, 6, 7 rounds of surgery done. Like, just the thought of going under anesthesia like gives me the heebie-jeebies. Like, it scares me. So I did have a lot of anxiety like prior to my surgery, which is gonna be normal, but yeah. The night before my surgery, like I said, I had to shower with the Hyba cleanse. I had to stop eating at midnight and I had to drink Gatorade right before I went to sleep. And then I got up like around 6:45. I had to be to the hospital by 9 o'clock. That was my check-in time. My sister ended up taking me to the hospital. So I had to stop drinking like all liquids like by 7 o'clock, I think. Or maybe by 8 o'clock. But yeah, so I drank some more Gatorade and then I drank water, and that was, you know, that was that. Of course, you're gonna have to take your jewelry out. I had my nose pierced, so I was able to take that out. This piercing, I wasn't really able to take it out, so I had to sign some paper at the hospital saying like I knew like what I was getting myself into by leaving this in, but I genuinely could not take it out. Like, the girl who did this piercing like screwed this on so good. I cannot take it out for the life of me. So yeah. So yeah, we got to the hospital. I prayed, of course. Me and my sister prayed together. My pastor prayed for me. My friends prayed for me. Y'all, get you some prayer warriors, because surgery is a big thing, and you know, it's a very scary thing, and you're definitely gonna need the Lord on your side, baby. So I prayed prior to when I got into the hospital, y'all. I had to pee so bad. Like, I literally, like, it was that type of like having to pee to where it was like my bladder was hurting from how much I had to pee. But the lady that was at the front, she was like, I'm so sorry, dear, but you're gonna have to hold it because you have to take a urine test when you get upstairs. And I was like, again? Like, I took a urine test when I did my freaking, you know, whatever, my medical clearance. But y'all, and here's another thing, do not get pregnant. If that means you can't do the grown and nasty, you cannot do the grown and nasty, because if you are pregnant, they will not operate on you. And the lady told me, like, she was like, people have flown in to get surgeries done and found out that they were pregnant, I was like, I would have been crying, kicking and screaming on the floor. So yeah, so I had to do a urine test to make sure I was not pregnant. So I had to check in, you know, give them my insurance card, give them my ID, like go over, you know, my financial whatever, make sure that that was going to be covered and all of that stuff, which it was. Glory be to God. So yeah, I went upstairs. Me and my sister went upstairs. I did bring some things to the hospital with me. I didn't stay overnight. This was an outpatient procedure. Most breast reductions are outpatient procedures. It was a couple people like in the Facebook group that I was a part of, which I would recommend, like, join some Facebook groups, get into like community, because again, like, I learned so many things from like reading the Reddits, watching the videos, being in these Facebook groups and all that stuff. So, you know, like, really join these different communities, because you're going to learn a lot and you're going to be able to like share your experiences with other people and help other people like with their journeys as well. So yeah, so there are some people who do stay overnight, but I didn't. Thank God, but I didn't. I did pack like another pair of pajamas. I wore like a onesie to the hospital and my Crocs. I bought some new Crocs. But I had another like pair of pajamas that I was going to change into after my surgery. So I bought that, a spare change of underwear. Like I said, I was on my period, so I bought pads with me. I bought my devotional with me because I thought I was going to read it, but I didn't get a chance to. And yeah, and I think I brought my charger with me. So, yeah, I got upstairs. I met my nurse. That one of the nurses that was going to be taking care of me. She gave me the cup off the rip. I was so grateful. I was like, girl, I have to pee real bad. While I was walking to the bathroom, I saw a Bible verse on like one of the boards, and it helped me to like calm down. And I knew that the Lord was with me that day, because I was so scared, y'all. I was nervous. So yeah, I went to the bathroom. I peed in the cup. I gave it to the nurse. They did the pregnancy test. I went into my room, my waiting room basically. I changed into my gown. They gave me compression socks and the grippy socks and all that stuff. And then they had to give me this like this like meshy paper underwear, because like I said, I was on my cycle, so I had to wear that. Then my surgeon came in. We were talking, joking around, all that stuff. He marked me up. He did like the surgical marks on me and stuff like that. And then he asked me, he was like, what size do you want to be? And I was like D, double D, but more so like on the D side. So yeah. And then he left. He had another surgery prior to mine, so I had to wait. So I was in the room waiting. They put in my IV. They took my blood pressure. My blood pressure was high. And I knew it was because I was stressed out. I was worried. Like I woke up with a migraine. Like I knew, like, it's like my body knew, like, it's time. And yeah, they gave me like different medication. They gave me some medication in like my IV for like acid reflux and all of that stuff. They gave me Tylenol. They gave me anti-nausea medication, all these different things. And then I just waited. I had to do paperwork, like sign off on paperwork. The anesthesiologist came and talked to me and just told me about what was about to happen, all of that different stuff. Like I said, I had to sign a paper for this, because you can't have like any piercings in during your surgery. So yeah. And then once all of that was done, I was just waiting. I kept having to pee. I had to pee a lot. So I know I was kind of getting on their nerves with that, because they kept having to unhook my IV. But yeah. And my sister waited with me, and then she left to go get food, and I was just kind of there by myself. I was watching TV. I was like doing stuff on my phone, whatever. And then I just remember.
Yeah, so that's my sister. So they put the IV in me. Actually, no, I'm skipping steps. So yeah, I had to take a urine test to make sure I'm not pregnant. They took all my information. I had to like wipe myself down with these really, really, really warm, nice feeling wipes. And then I changed into my gown. They gave me compression socks and the grippy hospital socks. So I'm just laying here. I have the IV in my hand. They gave me pain medication, and then like nausea and Pepsid for like stomach acid, and nausea for the anesthesia. So that's that. Other than that, I'm just ready to get the surgery over with. Honestly, I'm just ready to get this done. Yeah, I low-key want to take a nap, but I feel so anxious. Like, this is my first time ever having surgery. I've never had surgery in my life. So I'm just kind of ready to get it over with. I'm hoping, like, I was like, do y'all have any medication that could kind of like relax me? And they're like, yeah, like once you talk to the doctors, like we'll give the medication to like help you relax. I am sleepy because I didn't really sleep a lot last night. So, or I went to bed late and then I had to get up early, and like I woke up in the middle of the night, so I didn't really sleep that much. So I'm sad I had to take my nose ring out, but I couldn't take this out, my little surface tragus piercing, because the girl who I went to many, many years ago to put the piercing in, like, she screwed it on tight. Like, I was like, y'all gonna have to try to use one of those, like, surgical things and screw this, try to get it off, because it ain't coming off that easily. So yeah, so I'm gonna lay here. I'm gonna watch this episode of Daria. My sister just left to go get some food, and yeah, go outside because it's cold. I'm cold, like, so you know it's cold if I'm cold, because I don't get cold that easily. So I'm like wrapped up in like 7 blankets because I'm cold. So yeah, but I'll keep y'all updated on how everything goes. Like I said, prayerfully the surgery will go well. I've had so many people praying for me. I'm so grateful. Like, me and my sister prayed, and the cutest part about all of this, when I walked in, there was like a scripture on the board, like when we were walking past. I want to go back and look at it, but we were kind of like moving fast. I didn't get a chance to really see it, but it was like a scripture from Psalms, so that calmed me down just a little bit. But yeah, I have a little headache. I think again, it's like my nerves. I think I'm just really stressed, and I'm trying to just woosah. So yeah, but I'll talk to y'all later. Let us pray that my blood pressure will go down and I'll be well. I'll be good and ready for the surgery. So yeah, talk to y'all in a little bit.
And then I just remember, like, now this is where it's kind of getting, like, it kind of gets fuzzy, because yeah, I remember though, like, when I was waiting, it felt like, if you've ever been to like an amusement park and you're getting on a roller coaster, and it's like a roller coaster, it felt like, okay, when you're waiting in the line and you're just like, okay, do I have time to like leave this line? And like you're getting closer and closer to the front, and it's like, I want to get out of this line, but I kind of already like committed myself to like doing this. And then it's like the closer that you get to your actual like procedure, it feels like when they like are buckling you in, and it's kind of just one of those like, all right, we're here, we're just gonna have to do this. Like, I was in the room and I was like, is it too late for me to tell them I don't want to do it? I was just so scared, and I was having so much anxiety, and I was like so nervous. But then I fell asleep. Like, I took a nap, and then when I woke up, like, the anesthesiologist assistant came in and the nurse came in, and he was like, hi, you know, I'm so-and-so, and he was like explaining to me what was about to happen, and I was already kind of like in and out. And then like after that point, it feels like I blacked out, and then like I came back and I blacked out. Like I remember they took my bed, like they were rolling out my bed, and I was like, oh Lord, here we go. And they gave me some medication to kind of like calm me down and relax me. And then I just remember them like, I like don't remember really like them wheeling me to the room, but I remember being in the room, and the guy was like, okay, like we're gonna move you onto this bed. It's a lot smaller. I don't know why it's so small, but it's a lot smaller. And I was like, okay. And I remember looking up and I saw the light, the surgery light or whatever, and I was like, oh my God, this is it. And y'all, all I remember them saying was, we're putting your medication in your IV. And I said, okay. And they put that mask on me. I was out. Look, I was kind of just like, we're here. I'm not about to fight. I know there's people that try to fight the anesthesia. I was like, knock me out, please. I'm ready. I'm just ready to get this over with. So I fell asleep. And y'all, it's not a lie when people say like anesthesia, it feels like you blinked and you're up. Like, I just remember them putting the mask on my face, and I closed my eyes and I opened my eyes back up. They took the mask back off my face. They put the little oxygen thing in my nose for a little minute, and I was just like, where am I? And then I looked down and I said, oh, they're done. And y'all, I didn't even get to say goodbye to my boobs. I didn't even get to say goodbye. But yeah, like that was that. And I just remember saying like, thank you, Jesus. I woke up and I literally was like, the first thing I said was, thank you, Jesus. Once I realized like I was awake and I was alive, I was like, thank you, Jesus. And then I was like, oh my gosh, my boobs are gone. And yeah, and then I remember being kind of like irritated because the nurse kept talking to me, and I know she was sweet. Like, I'm not gonna sit up here and be, like act like she was rude to me. She was very sweet, but it was just like she was telling me too much stuff at one time, and I was like, girl, I just came back from like this deep sleep. Like I had this freaking cuff on my arm, this blood pressure cuff on my arm, and it kept squeezing my arm, and I was so ready for them to take it off. My shoulder was starting to hurt. I was just ready to go home. I was like, okay, enough is enough. I've been here all day. Like, I'm ready to go home. So yeah, but my sister was there, and like she gave the instructions to my sister of like what to do with my drains and all these different things. I don't even remember how I got my pajamas on, but we got my pajamas on. I remember like they tried to give me like water, but it was making me really nauseous because the anesthesia makes you nauseous. But I drank off the ginger ale. Like, I was like, this is gonna help my stomach. And then I had like a little bit of graham crackers. Before I left the hospital, I had to like, she wanted to see if I could pee because because of how long my procedure was. It was about like 4 or 5 hours long. So because of that, I had to have a catheter in. So she wanted to make sure that I could pee. I didn't pee until I got home though, but I had to pee within like the next like 24 hours. And they were like, if you don't pee within the next day, you have to go to the ER. So thank God I peed when I got home. But yeah, so we tried to see if I could pee. I didn't pee at the hospital. I was so out of it. I couldn't even walk. She was like, can you walk to the... I said, no, ma'am, please put me in a wheelchair. So yeah, she gave me some bras. She gave me this. She put it all in my little plastic hospital bag. I was like, where's my phone? Make sure I got my phone and all my stuff that I came here with. And I left. I went home. My sister took me home. I fell asleep in the car. I put my seat back and I slept the whole car ride. And then I got home and I was up for a little bit and then I went to sleep. And that was that. That was my day. That was my surgery day. Again, my doctor did a really great job. I really love my boobs. I was kind of like paranoid the first couple days in terms of like how my boobs turned out because, you know, people have their horror stories. I was worried about my nipples because like he put this like medicine on there and it looked so funny. And like my nipples looked like someone like cut them out and then pasted them on my breast. So I was so stressed out about my nipples and about the drains and about all this different stuff. This is the day after the surgery. These are my drains. So at 8, 2, and 9, I have to drain these. So I have to measure it. So this is all like blood and fat, whatever. You gotta squeeze it, put it back. And they gave me this nifty belt that holds my drains. So yeah. So I do have a little blood on my bra on this side. Looks like it was probably bleeding last night. So this one is 20 ounces or 20 milliliters. So we got a good amount of drainage. I'm gonna record it for my doctor during my appointment today for my post-op follow-up. Cheers. Flush that down the toilet. So I'm gonna go take a shower. I said the following day I had to shower, so I'm gonna take this off. This will be my first time seeing my baby since yesterday. So,
You taking it off?
my bra?
Uh-huh.
This different stuff. They took like a big chunk of my tattoo. I actually laughed at that though. I was like, oh my God, they took my tattoo. I had like a big tattoo of Jamaica on the side of my breast. That's gone. Like I have one little piece of Jamaica left on here, but I was like joking around about that. I was like, oh my gosh, like they took the tattoo, like everything. But yeah, I was kind of worried about everything, but I think that's normal. Like you want to make sure you're healing properly. You want to make sure like everything is how it's supposed to be and stuff. So yeah, like I said, the first couple of days was kind of hard in terms of like moving around. Showering was super hard. I had to have help with that the first couple of days. I could barely lift my arms up. I was very sore. I wasn't in like pain, but I was really sore. I took 2 different pain medications. I took gabapentin and Celebrex, and then I took the extra strength Tylenol, and then I took the anti-nausea medication like once, and that was that. I'm on Wellbutrin, so I was able to start taking it the next day, and I've been fine. And yeah, and like the first couple of days, I just kind of like, I slept, I was in bed a lot. I did walk around because like I said, I didn't want to like, you know, get a pulmonary embolism or blood clots or anything like that. So I did walk around. And the anesthesia like didn't really affect my mental health because they did tell me like, you know, like there would be kind of like a little bit of like you'd be a little groggy and like emotional and like depressed the first couple of days. I felt a little like down, but I was straight. I think I was like, let me just go outside and walk around and like get some sunlight and stuff. And I think just being around my family and like all of that really helped me out a lot. But Yeah, I absolutely love my boobs. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, when I saw them, I was like, wow, they look great. Of course, they were swollen. Like, they were really swollen. The swelling's going down, but like the first couple days, they were swollen and hard and stiff. But yeah, now they're starting to like soften up. Like, I massaged them and stuff like that, and they are starting to soften up. Now, like, I am a little sore, especially where my drain sites are. Like, they're sore, and the skin, the skin is kind of sore, and my nipples are itchy, and then I get these like jolts in my nipples. But apparently, that's like your nipples are like reconnecting to your body, basically. So yeah. But I didn't have any like major pain. I wasn't in like a whole lot of pain. I stopped taking my pain medication after like a week. It was just very tight. It was hard for me to like move around. I was trying to make sure I didn't pull on nothing or anything like that. The scars look ugly, of course. I'm looking forward to when I can start putting stuff on my scars. But yeah. So that is basically that on my surgery, how everything has been going. Like I said, I love my new boobs. I'm looking forward to being able to wear like my favorite clothes again. Not even again, just being able to wear like nice clothing. I guess my final remarks, like, if I regret this surgery or not, I don't regret it at all. I'm so glad that I got it done. It has been a huge blessing to me. I'm so thankful that my insurance covered it. I have a really great surgeon. I got financial aid. I had a lot of support, a lot of help. I'm just very blessed with that, and I'm so grateful. And I don't miss having big boobs. I think it's adjusting. Like I said, I spent more than half of my life having large breasts, and having to just deal with that and work around that. And it has just been different. I'm looking forward to like wearing bikinis. I've been like, I have a whole cart on Fashion Nova of like bikinis that I want to buy. Being able to like go braless in certain tops, because even after a while with like my boobs, like they had just gotten so big, like I couldn't go braless. Like, it looked terrible. So just being able to like now wear certain clothes and I can be braless. I can wear like tops where the backs are out, stuff like that. Like, I'm looking forward to that, like just upgrading my closet altogether. I look a lot smaller. Like, I used to look huge with my boobs. I look a lot smaller. It's definitely given me more of a kick in my behind to lose weight. And just getting like more serious with that. So I am more looking forward now to like my weight loss journey. And I'm looking forward to like my boobs not being the first thing that people notice. Like, I'm looking forward to people actually noticing me. I'm looking forward to dating and being able now to like get that out of the picture, so that if a guy likes me, he likes me for me and not because of how big my breasts are or whatever. I look forward to, I don't know, I just look forward to this new life with these new boobies. They look great, and I'm very thankful. I don't have any regrets with it. The healing is going pretty well so far. Prayerfully, I'll be 100% healed, and it will just now be adjusting to life with smaller boobies. Like I said earlier, I don't really even want to have kids right now because I want to enjoy this, and I just hope that I have a better quality of life now, and this is kind of the catalyst for me to like just better myself all around. And if you're thinking about doing the surgery, if you can get covered by your insurance, or you have the money to get the surgery, do it. It's really a life-changing surgery. Like, every person who I talk to who had surgery, who had the breast reduction surgery, they were like, look, it's life-changing and it's one of the best things that you could do for yourself. And I'm just very grateful. I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful. And you know, I say go for it. Even like outside of the aesthetics, my back feels a lot better. I don't feel as much strain or heaviness. I feel lighter. You know, health wise, also something that I learned is that actually when you get a breast reduction, you are decreasing your risk of developing breast cancer. So that's a great thing. They actually sent like my fat, my tissue, my skin off for testing, and they found nothing in it. So glory be to God for that as well. They took off a total of 7 pounds. So they took 1660 out of this breast and 1439 out of this breast. So I lost 7 pounds. They took 7 pounds. Like, that's a freaking baby, y'all. I was carrying a newborn on my chest, y'all, every single day. You know, so that's why, again, when guys be like, oh, why did you get this surgery? Why are y'all getting this surgery? Please go take 8-9 pounds of fat and strap it to your chest and walk around with that for a month, and you can't take it off, and see how you like it. See how it feels on your back, on your neck, on your shoulder. Go bra shopping and try to wear a cute top, and you know, all of that. I also look forward to not looking like a hoochie in my outfits. Like, I feel like when you, like, now that I'm 30, I'm at a place where like I don't want to look like a hoochie in my clothes, you know. Like, I want to look cute, and I want to look, you know, like, I've always envied the girls that could like wear outfits and they just look like they're rocking it, like a Zendaya or something, where it's like it doesn't look on you, it don't look skimpy or skanky or nothing, it looks good. Like, and I always felt like in my clothes, like no matter what, I either always looked frumpy or I looked like a hooker. Like, I look like a hoochie. So I look forward to like not looking like a hoochie in my clothes, like, and being able to wear nice stuff that looks good on me. So yeah, so all in all, I don't regret it, and I'm glad that I got it, and I'm glad that, like, even in spite of my anxiety, like, I was brave and I did it, you know. And I would 100% like do it again. Like, if I could go back in time, I would not change my mind. I'd be like, let's do it. So yeah, that's basically it for my breast reduction story and surgery and journey. If you have any questions, or you know, you just want to like talk to me, you can comment, of course, or I think YouTube has private messages that you can message me and reach out to me. You can follow me on Instagram on my business page at theeholynail. I might be changing my name, so just be on the lookout for that. But for now, you can follow me at theeholynail. And yeah, that is basically that. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. Okay, y'all, so I just want to show what I look like now with my boobs, my breast reduction. So please excuse backgrounds to my nail studio. So this is what I look like from the front, and this is what I look like from the side. So like I said, I used to be an I cup, we'll call it that, like a 40I. I haven't been measured yet. I wanted to get to the 6-week mark before I get them measured, because, you know, they're still adjusting and there's, you know, they're still a little swollen and stuff like that. But I want to say I'm probably a D cup. So yeah, and then please excuse me if any of my former students are watching this, y'all, but I do want to show y'all. Okay, so this is the bra that I got from the hospital. As you can see, my nipples are starting to come out, this one especially, which I'm happy about. So this is what they look like from the side. Y'all see I still got to work on my belly, but yeah. And then these are the drainage sites. So that's one, and that's the other, and they're still healing. And then let me see if I can show y'all. So this is the tattoo that I was telling y'all about, and this is all that's left of it. So yeah, so this is what we're working with. Again, these are Fruit of the Loom bras, and this is what they gave me prior to or after my surgery was done. So I just want to show y'all what they're looking like, and yeah. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.